Statement: alcohol helps the workers perform better in the creative industry. Method: I will prove this statement wrong by finding reliable sources. I have made a survey to research the industry, an interview, and some internet research. Background: I choose this question because I have more than one family member struggling with alcohol addiction. I understand that offering a glass or two to your workers after a stressful week is really nice and not at all that weird, but is it a good way to release stress? I don't think it helps with creativity. I think that if you use a substance like drugs or alcohol to be creative, you are sure going to develop an addiction sooner or later. This is important to the industry because if I can prove that alcohol doesn't help with creativity or the performance, maybe you will think twice before having a drink to be more productive. There are other ways to relax with your coworkers, and there are other ways to reward your staff after a hectic week. It might actually cause more harm than it does good. Is it legal to serve alcohol in the office? To start off somewhere, I wanted to know if it was even legal to serve alcohol in the office. And I found out it is. It is legal as long as it stays on the premises and it's free or sold without profit. You are not allowed to sell alcohol with a profit if you don't have a permit. Fun fact: in Sweden, your boss is obligated by law to help you if you have a problem with alcohol or drugs. Interview: I have asked Louise Clisén at Marshall Headphones for a short interview since she has worked at some different companies, such as Spotify, Marshall Headphones, TV4, Weekday, Synsam, etc., etc. Why serve alcohol at the office? It's so normalized these days, especially in Sweden. They want to create a business culture that is chill and where people are happy so that people want to stay at work. But I do think that it is used as a cover for things that might not work at the office, like stress levels or not be able to relax with your coworkers. At Spotify, they had snacks and sodas instead of alcohol, which is really nice, because it makes it easier for workers to do their job. They can work overtime and don't have to leave the office for lunch or dinner because it's all there, so you don't lose time and you don't feel the stress to get food. Do you think you get more creative or productive when you had a drink? Not really. I think you can be creative and learn not to force it. You have to find your own way to get the creative mindset. For some people, it's to check Vimeo, and for some, it's to go for a walk in the woods. You just have to find your own thing. Is there any problems connected to drinking at work? I would say it's harder to say no because of group pressure. Not that your colleagues are forcing you, more the feeling of everybody else is drinking. You want to fit in, but that of course depends on who you are as a person, if you are insecure or not, and so on. Why do they serve alcohol at your office? Mostly for celebration, which I think is mostly to get people to relax and to get to know each other in a more chill environment, like a stress relief after a hard week's work. But I don't think it's a good habit to get used to. You should be able to handle stress in other ways. I think it's good to have a hobby where you can relax and have control. Do you have any tips on how to handle stress? Working out, taking a fika with your friends, go swimming, check out Pinterest, owning a pet like a dog or a cat reduce stress as well. I usually play with my cat and draw. Discussion. There is no real research in Sweden that proves that alcohol makes you more creative or productive. Martin Stenström, medical scientist at Lunds Universitet, wrote for his PhD an essay about alcohol and drugs. In an interview with the magazine Metro, he answers the question, does alcohol make you more creative?
There is really nothing that suggests it is. And it also depends on what you mean by creativity. Alcohol lowers impulse control, which means that we do things that we usually would never have done. So when it goes down, one might argue that one gets more creative, but you do not get ideas just because you're drunk. But that idea you probably had before, but then you have barriers that stop you. So basically your brain is putting your ideas down and blocking you, and alcohol makes you more impulsive, which makes you think that you get more creative. But it's already there. You already have that idea.